Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Legion Lads. I'm your host, JR. Today we got Jose and Nix. What's up, guys?
There's a grenade.
There is a grenade.
I'm trying to compete with hair with Nick. It's not working.
No, just like Nick's tables, you're always gonna lose that battle. So, um, so a couple things, guys. We're gonna go over a buyer's guide. There's gonna be a lot of things coming out at the end of this year, and I think it was important for us to address what's kind of for new players coming into the game and veterans coming in. I'm pretty sure veterans already know this stuff, but I think it would be helpful to reference this video for people that are just like, what do I get? What should I want? And we can kind of get your takes on both of that. So that's the main thing we're going to be covering today, guys. But before we get into that, a couple announcements. The first announcement is September 7th, just this Sunday, we're having the Legion Lads tournament. So we hope the local cities around surrounding cities and the local players can make that. That'd be awesome. I know we got some Bakersfield, and I don't know where. Correct me if where the Rolling Better Dice guys are from. Roll Better Dice.
Up
Oh,
north.
I know it's
North.
I know it's somewhere.
North.
Uh,
They
I
come
want
to
to
they
say
come to a lot of them too. That's why I'm like,
yeah.
oh, I
I
should
think it's
know this.
Modesto. I'm sure they're gonna correct this because they always come down for our tournaments. It's always great to see them. I just don't know for because I haven't been there. Once I go visit for a tournament, which I need to do, I feel like then I'll always remember. But yeah, that's this Sunday, so it'll be great to see you guys. Any of you East Coast people want to come all the way out here just for our local tournament?
Oh, get out of here.
And our one viewer that's in, I believe, in Australia, if he wants to come out here, like that'd be awesome. But moving on, I wanted to do a little news segment. It's called I don't know, we could do a Star Wars name for it in the future, but it's kind of a correction segment because we do see your guys' comments on Spotify and YouTube. We always appreciate when you guys come in and chime in and tell us how we're doing and any corrections we may need. This game's got a lot of rules. We get it wrong all the time, but it's always nice to see people chiming in and just like, hey, did you know this is how this works? Like, oh no, we didn't know, or help clarify that. So that's what this segment's going to be about, and we're going to go over our previous podcast. So if you have anything you guys want to say, we'll address it in the following podcast. So leave a comment on the Spotify or in the YouTube, and we will make sure to address it in this new segment. But with that being said, Jose and Nick, no, I think it was Jose, made the claim that there's no command card that gives you 3 dodge tokens. And I know we chimed in on the Discord, our local Discord, that was incorrect. But the Fit Trooper and Mike Berry referenced Krennic's 3-pip, which I did believe that one was referenced
No, no, no. That
as a
wasn't dodge
downside.
tokens. That
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah. No,
yeah,
no.
No,
It
you're
was the downside. The
talking about the
downside card.
downsides.
uh,
Yes.
yeah, so not dodge tokens. We did that in the Discord. But this one's a downside. Lando's
I
1-pip.
I talked about the downsides because
Yeah.
I was talking about the new rebel card that gave observation tokens.
Right. So you're
They
right. This
came after
is
you
Nick.
guys, not me.
They came after Nick
Give it to me.
specifically.
No, I'll take all of it. I'll take all of it.
All right, Nick. Well, here we go. Critics 3-pip, obviously, because you give your opponent suppression, right? And you get suppression
hmm
yourself.
hmm
Lando's 1-pip, which I don't know what the drawback on that one is because I don't know that card specifically.
That's the one where you roll a die and maybe you give
Oh,
your opponent immobilized tokens or maybe you give yourself immobilized tokens.
that makes sense. Ahsoka's 1, which is the negative is.
That must be the Gar one because that's one I was like I didn't catch that. Is that the one where you can give a speed move to your opponent if you don't kill them? Is that right?
Oh yeah, what they could
Soka's
do.
Yeah.
Gar.
Yeah, they could
Yep.
withdraw. And then let's see here. The other one was Yoda's 3-pip. He can't attack, right? That's a drawback for playing that card.
Sure,
And then,
sure.
there was one that just came to my mind right now that I was thinking that. Oh yeah, Maul's 1-pip. He takes a wound. Come on, that's a big
Get
drawback.
No,
out of
Big
wait, no,
drop.
here.
wait.
You don't count.
He wants to take a wound though.
No,
He
no,
wants to
no.
take a
I
wound.
want Gio at full health, baby. That's what I want.
No,
Um,
uh, but all right, but yeah, no. So all good points. Yes, some command cards that do hand out negative effects to yourself. Now, I will say I was definitely more focused on a command card that handed out a token, a positive token to your opponent. Because that's definitely what I was kind of more focused on. But yes, good point. Those command cards do negatively affect you. None of those cards, though, give your opponent a green token to use against you, though, still. So I would say this Rebel command card is still unique in that way because Krennic is suppression to both players. Yoda just can't attack, and the move for Ahsoka, right? So it still is kind of unique that it's giving your opponent a green token to use against you. That's new. That's new. I'll say this though, kind of rebuttal to that. That I still think makes this command card. I used the word stupid last time.
You're very negative.
lot of
sir.
times.
A lot of times.
You're very negative.
I'll take that back. It was one day after it came out.
We need AMG to
He
see us,
said time
notice
to
us.
relax.
I fully started that podcast with saying it will be impulsive takes, but all of those other cards do, I would say, more maybe game breaking is not the right word, but more significant things. I mean, Yoda's card where he can't attack, that's when he gets to share his tokens, right? He gets to add, I think he gets 6 tokens, right? He gets 6 tokens that he can then share to his entire army at range 3. That's pretty crazy. That's a pretty game changing ability. So it makes sense you can attack. Krennic's suppression, 2 suppression, or even more than that, to every unit on the board. Game breaking, right? That's a huge effect. Makes sense. It does a negative to you as well, right? Because that's a huge ability.
It's not a negative. They're running Vader when they do that.
Well, again, but I'm just saying the terms of what we're talking about. A command card doing a negative effect to you, right? 3 dodge tokens to give your opponent observation tokens. I mean, that's where I still would say that card is not on the same level as those other cards that are doing also negative things like at the same time. Now you want to throw Lando's card in there. I mean, if Lando's 1-pip did not give him incognito, that 1-pip is trash, garbage as a 1-pip. Roll a die to hand out a mobilized token, have to be a range 2, all these other things. I mean, that's the only reason you even play that is for the incognito. So if you want to throw that card on the trash pile too, I'm okay with that as well. So I would just say that. So I would still say this card is still new in that aspect. That's giving a green token to your opponent to use against you.
Sure. I mean, could they not do that and not give yourself opponent green token? Sure, they could have done that, but I can see where they were going with the comments and just like, hey, there's other things that kind of a gamble.
Sure.
Right?
There is. So, I agree with that. I agree. They were all good points. They were all good points. Yes, so, I agree.
So I'm with Nick because rewatching that podcast, like we all rewatch our podcast, so unless we're the only weirdos that do it. We get to rewatch our podcast and then get told on the Discord, mainly me, how I was wrong.
Which I'm going to address. Are you going to go over that right now?
Well, I wanted to clarify, put something out there. Is like,
okay,
when Nick, when we got these comments, I was like, I get where Nick is, but I think he was speaking in like a general term. Like for me, when I said name a card that gives out 3 dodges, like I kind of like shorthanded it because when Dallin was like, well, Sabine's gives out dodges and Dooku's gives out dodges and blah 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 blah, right? And then Dooku with tag droid or whatever. I'm like, okay, what I meant to say, clarification now, that matters, is a card that gives out 3 dodges to 3 different units, where like Sabine's can give her 3 dodges if she gives 3 orders out, or Dooku with independent or whatever. Like, I was just speaking in terms of that dodge card being unique in the fact that it gives 3 units dodge tokens, not handing out in general 3 dodges.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, and there are other cards that do it, like Ahsoka's 3-pip. gives 3 dodges. Now one of them has to go to Ahsoka because it's Ahsoka in 2 units, and each one gets a dodge or an aim. And then Ahsoka gains expire 2 and a recover. So like that's a great 3-pip, right, for Ahsoka. Um, so and again, the argument could be, well, these are the generic, commander cards. They shouldn't be as good as any named character card, but but then you see the other Rebel card, which is amazing. So it's like, well, then that kind of goes out the window. So that's I think that's kind of what maybe is just so weird about it. It's like, why did they
Well, here,
create one
He's
that's
still
so
grinding
good?
his teeth.
I got a devil's advocate for you.
Okay, okay.
But before I go over that, I wanted to express that the command cards that we're talking about that do give out dodges is You Disappoint Me, which is Dooku, Roger, which is the generic CIS one, and then Discretion, which is the mercenary one for
First
Shadow
one.
Collective
Mhm.
that you could just give out 3 dodges instead of give out 3 orders. But
And then
I'm
Ahsoka New Beginning.
correct. Yes, New Beginning as well. I think the reason why the custom commander has a drawback is because of your point that you made in the last podcast, is that you could make the commander so cheap that like these other command cards that you do give out 2 dodges, they're taxed on a higher price unit, right? So it makes sense that their command cards are better because you're paying a higher cost to run these guys. If the custom commanders had really OP command cards, like you would run them super cheap and have the benefits of everything, right?
But didn't they get a really OP command card? Isn't there other command card handing out the free
The,
passes of
yeah, the
really
pass.
good command? That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So isn't that a really good command
Well,
card?
that one's locked behind the agent, right?
I guess technically yes, it's locked behind
So
the agent, but I
you
mean,
you still have to take a commander tax. So I mean, don't get me wrong, that is the better one, but like running an agent, I feel like you're still running a, you know, commander. You have to run a commander. So there's your spice of like what commander you're bringing. You could do the custom commander and you could do the agent, but at that point, you're paying a heavy tax on it, theoretically.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think it's still. I think it's still. I think it's still garbage.
I mean, it's not the greatest one. I agree that it's still the bottom of the totem pole. But yeah, it was not that great.
I
So
hope somebody wrecks you with that at LVO.
thank you guys again for commenting. Again, we do see everyone's comments, but I want to kind of address them and let you know we see them because I don't usually reply only because I'm kind of busy with life. So this gives me a way to like, hey, we see your comment and we appreciate your comment and help us to get things right. Um, but yeah, moving forward, another correction that's not our fault is there was a grenade not showcased for the custom commanders for Rebel. Um,
At least it seems to be, right?
yes.
It's out there. It still hasn't been put on the official transmission. Like, I'll check again. I've been checking.
Did you see this on the Discord or
It
on
was just on the
Facebook?
Discord. Just on the Discord.
Okay. Which is interesting. So this could be a fake.
Well, no, I mean I don't think it is because these are released. I believe these are released in not in the US. So they posted the rest of the cards on the Discord. So I like pretty safe to guess 100% say it's not fake,
Mhm.
but it's just interesting that it never went up on the transmission.
Yeah, that is very interesting because it just seemed odd that this is okay. Let me go over it first. It is a grenade, so that grenade slot that's on the agent and the commander. This is the reason why it costs 3. It's expendable, and it's for only the agent and the officer only. It's the thermal detonator that's melee to range 1, blast, impact 4, and 4 red dice. Um, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm gonna get your guys' opinion in a minute, but I feel like this definitely should have been the transmission because the rebel and the agent are lacking, and if they show this case off, it's like okay, this grenade now makes more sense. Now, do you guys think this is an auto take?
Yes.
Tell me why. Whoever wants to go first.
You can go first, Jose.
Rebel Nick. No, you're the Rebel
all right.
specialist.
Well, because it's 3 points. It's so cheap.
Sure.
And it is 4 red dice. That's impact 4 blast. I mean, that's going to be great against vehicles and against anything really if you really needed to. You do have your one card that can give your rebel Arsenal 2, so you could use this and something else in an attack. It is expendable, so you only get the one time, but for 3 points, I mean that's so little. It's such a small cost, and the fact that it's not unique, so you could bring multiple of them as well. So if you had multiple agents or multiple commanders, you could have two or three of these on the table, which could
You get
be
4.
you could, I mean, you could, you could. I don't know if you do, if you necessarily would have that, but you
Sure.
could. And that,
Rebels, you have 12 points. You have 12 points laying around.
and with some of the armor that some of the armor units that do get closer to you nowadays. I mean, not all of them, but some of them do. I mean, this would be a nice way to take care of them at a pretty cheap point cost. Because also you're attaching it to a cheap unit as well. So it's 3 points attaching already to a very cheap unit. So you're not putting a lot of investment into this.
Sure. Sure.
So
What about you, Jose?
I think it's awesome for everything Nick said. For 3 points, it's a steal, even if it's a one-time use. I mean, the other one-time use 3-point grenade, I think it's 3 points, is the smoke grenade. And most of the time, realistically, most of the time when you're just filling out points, a lot of people tend to go for the cheap option. This is a nice little filler for rebels to take. And it does help with that incoming armor for that one shot. But what I like about it too is since it has a range, 0 to melee to 1 means that if somebody happens to jump into melee with you, well, guess what? My 2 dice or 1 dice melee now turns into 4 red. Even if you're not armored, I'm throwing 4 red in melee. One go, it's not bad. But really why I like it is the arsenal weapon upgrade that you can take on, I think it's the commander and the agent. So that allows you to throw a pretty hefty dice pool at range 1 if you need that. And I think it's really solid.
Yeah, I honestly agree with you guys. I feel like if you have 3 points laying around, this is perfect on them. And just for the build you could do, like I could see a melee build using this with Arsenal 2 or a range. And that could be a turn that's really heavy because like in the past, specifically Dooku, when you play as one pip, if you had saber throw, you can do a saber throw and his lightning on a vehicle, which is I believe impact. That's 2. I think it's 4. I could be wrong. So correct me in the comments. And that's Pierce 3, which is huge at taking down a vehicle really, really fast on a turn. So like I feel like this is just that without the tax of the commander card.
Yeah, and what's cool is like I said, like for 11 points, if you take the heavy blaster pistol and you happen to get a range 1 shot off because the blaster pistol can't be used in melee, you're looking at 5 red and a white, and you're with everything that's on that grenade, and now you're adding lethal 1.
Yeah. Seems pretty solid. Seems pretty good.
That's not bad for
For 3 points.
11 points. Yeah.
AMG, this is why you put it in the article.
well,
hold on.
I think this further kind of shows that the article wasn't ready to go out.
Valid. Valid.
Yes.
Unless it was always going to be missing, like they were never going to include it in the article.
Nick, so we haven't seen everything that comes with Hondo. Hondo, as we know, can get Arsenal 4. Hondo has grenade slots. I'm going to say it right here, and hopefully I'm not wrong. I bet you Hondo's going to have some crazy grenades.
Maybe.
He's going to have
Maybe.
some crazy grenades. Hondo has what, 1 or 2 grenade slots?
Just one,
I can tell you
believe.
now. You guys keep talking. I'll tell you right now.
Either way, Arsenal, he can get Arsenal 4, and we were joking around like,
Oh, we
my
don't even
grenade.
know. We don't even know.
You're right.
Oh, he
We
doesn't.
don't know
Okay.
the cost.
We
That's right.
we don't even know Hondo slots. We don't even know if he gets a
Okay,
grenade.
so I'm telling you, I think Hondo
Yeah.
is a perfect candidate because when I see this upgrade and I see this grenade for Rebels, I see this as one of the, we get new stuff going forward. Like, these weapons are all cool. They're different, they're variety. Hondo's kind of off the wall as well. And we already know Hondo's like hilarious. He's just like not unhinged, but he's a goofy character, and I would expect a goofy character like this to have like multiple guns, gadgets, whatever. So I can picture Hondo having Arsenal 4 with like funky grenades. Like I feel that Honda's gonna have grenades.
He could
Well,
have he could have a grenade. He could even have an armament. He may even
yeah.
have another weapon we don't even know.
Dude, an armament and a grenade, Arsenal 3?
I hope you're right, Jose. And the reason why I hope you're right that he's gonna get kind of like a Sabine. No, Boba Fett. Like he had a no. Sabine had the whip, had a shield, had the dark saber. Like she had all these equipable things, and I hope that's the case with you're right because what I plan to do is run CIS, have full order control without an order, and play standing orders every turn. Boom, go ham.
I don't think that's worth it.
Maybe not,
Oh
maybe
my
not,
god.
but we'll see when we see the backside and see
The
all the
man
stuff we
crazy
do.
enough to try it is definitely in the room.
um, so yeah, uh, yes, the grenade is awesome. I do like the grenade. AMG, I think Nick is right. They just weren't ready for it. But here we go,
Yeah.
guys. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the buyer's guide for our beginners. So let me just go ahead and get this screen going. We
He's
need
removing all the inappropriate windows.
all my Jose pictures.
Oh god.
All right, can you guys
Mall
see that just now?
hentai.
Okay, so I'm gonna get you guys' opinion. Same thing like we do all tiers. Who, whatever the majority, that's where it's gonna go. Specific categories I have is straight up for beginners, and then veterans, and then the enthusiasts. You know, the people that are just gonna get this, that love the game so much. I'm debating if I should add in both veterans and beginners. What do you guys think?
Oh, so it goes in both spots?
Yeah, like if you be like, oh, now this is also good for veterans too. You know, like this is good for beginners and veterans. Why wouldn't you get it?
Yeah, I mean that category probably does exist.
For some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so first one we're going to talk about is the new starter set. It's going around for I think $100. You get a lot of cool stuff in it. You get 600 points worth of army. You get command cards. You get everything you need to play the recon mission. You don't get enough points to play the actual full game, but enough to do what they now call the skirmish mode recon. Um, what are you guys' thoughts on this? I feel like you guys already know where this is going, but Jose, take it away. What do you think?
I'm gonna shock you. It's both beginners and veterans.
Why do you think that?
Um, because the old starter sets are non-compatible-ish, and on top of that, they're not. I think they're out of production. So these new starter sets are exactly what new players are gonna need to get into the game. At $100, it's an absolute steal, no matter what faction you're running. And at the same time, speaking from my personal experience, is with me trying to run uh double eight 7 to 8 B1 double squads. This box is like a steal in terms of what I get out of it, which would be what, 4 B1 squads. And then it would allow me to then like I don't like the Dooku sculpt, and I know JR hates me for that.
It looks good.
Is it no Dooku's not in this is Grievous, right?
Yeah, this is Grievous. Well,
Okay,
yeah,
well,
yeah, for the CIS
yeah,
box. Yeah.
starter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't care about the new Grievous sculpt. I don't like Grievous that much. Um,
Still
the
good.
Decas, I already own 3. I think you have B2s in there. It is what it is. I'm not messing with anything more than 2 B2s at the moment. So it gives me an opportunity as a veteran player to say, hey, I want this box. I just want the B1s out of it. And legitimately the B1 box alone for like I would assume the core B1s on their own are going to be 50, $60 maybe
But
plus tax.
if you're devil's advocate here, if you're a veteran, you already have all this stuff. Like
No, because I'm a veteran and I don't have it.
well, so okay, but you're
Not
unique.
everybody's
You're
running this many
you're unique in
B1s.
that you're running all armies, right? But most veterans have. There's nothing new in this box that they don't already have. And I think
No,
it's
no,
I think
but
it's hold on. I think it's also important to note for our viewers that most AMG's products are print and play, so veterans don't necessarily need the cards in this because you could just print them off the website. Um, so like I don't know if veterans need this.
No, I'm not. I'm saying a veteran could though is what I'm saying, because once again, like my thing is, I can pick this box up for B1s that would be that I need, and I can then sell or part off the rest.
So
So I'm saying, like, and even the reason why veterans would even want this, and maybe not in terms of like the B1s, but for instance, when the Empire drops. There's plenty of people playing Empire. There's plenty of people, I want to say Nicholas, that are not opposed to getting their old sculpts out and getting new hard plastic in, which is why veterans would be key for this as well.
Go
so
ahead, Nick.
I yeah, I think you were sort of touching on Jared and where I was thinking more. So I think Jose, you would buy this not because you're a veteran, but because you're an enthusiast.
Ooh,
Ooh.
Because
good take.
because you don't need to buy this. You have an army, you have multiple armies, but you're an enthusiast and you're gonna have more, you're gonna have all four armies and you're gonna have a lot of it. So you're gonna buy it because you can get more.
Mhm.
You can get more Legion than you need. And that's I
There's
feel like
never
that
enough Legion.
but that's what I feel like that's more an enthusiast category.
Okay.
I would say that's an argument for that. Now, of course, it's still great for it's perfect for the beginner. This is amazing for the beginner. This definitely goes in the beginner slot for sure, because that is who it's targeted for. But if you ask me if I were to say who the second pick, I would say it goes an enthusiast. I don't think a veteran
Hold on.
player actually needs to
Hold
buy
on.
this.
If I remember correctly, veteran player, our captain himself, Roman, is talking about buying the Empire starter just to replace old plastic with new plastic.
That's
He's
the
I
not an
argu
enthusiast. He only
I
plays
No,
Empire.
that's
I
an
I,
argument for enthusiasts.
I think that's an argument for it being enthusiast.
No.
Yes, he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to. He has an army. He's doing it because of his enthusiasm for the game and for the models, not because of his need to fill out a
I'm gonna ask him
roster.
on Saturday. We're gonna ask him, Nick, on Saturday.
I, no,
When
I
we're playing MCP, we're gonna
and
ask Roman about Legion.
and again, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying I'm taking a different approach, different angle
Sure.
of where I kind of view that.
So I agree with Nick. I think Nick hit it right on the nail. Is that this is exactly for enthusiasts. Like if I'm definitely getting a
New
starter
beginner.
kit just because I can get more stuff. Like I already have a bunch of stuff, right? Like I don't need this to play any of my armies. I don't need this even to play my ones that I have the legit models for because I already got enough, right? Because I've been in the game for so long. It's purely just for the enthusiasm of just like, hey, I can get this new model that's in there. So I would have to agree with Nick. I definitely think it's beginner. It's a great bargain. Like I said, it comes with everything that's you need to play the recon mission and to play the main game. You get a commander, core, and some special forces mostly in them. So yeah, so beginners, this is the great entry point. Uh, and there's four of them for each faction. There's CIS, Empire, Rebels, and did I say CIS already?
Gar,
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 thank
yep,
you,
Gar.
Gar. Um, so moving on.
No Shadow Collective starter?
No,
No,
mm-mm, no.
no,
You
no,
can't
no.
even buy it, can you? I don't know. Is it out print, stock? We could check.
Yeah, even then, the rules in Shadow Collective are so different that, in my opinion, it would piss a new player off more than anything, right?
Well, it's interesting you say that because Hondo and the Weequay Pirates are coming out, so they've obviously got some kind of plan for some type of. I'm hoping at least. I guess I shouldn't
Sure.
say they do have a plan. I
Mhm.
assume I
Hmm.
assume they have some type of plan for some new battle force for them.
I agree, but I don't think you're gonna get a box like Shadow Collective.
No, no, not a. You won't get a box, but they've got to have something
Well, no,
planned. I mean,
absolutely. I think you're
yeah.
right. I think honestly, this November at Ministrab, we're gonna see a bunch more battle forces, and Weequay is gonna be one of them. Because you already got swoop bikes, you got AA5s that have the Weequay on them, and then you're gonna have that new glass cannon tank. So I
Hmm.
feel like it's just screams a whole Weequay,
Yeah. Well,
mercenary.
and I could be wrong, but I imagine you probably could sprinkle in some of the other stuff in there too. But
Sure, sure. But if in my opinion, I hope. I mean, I'm not against them doing that, but like I just gonna do all Weequay. Like that just seems so good
I
to run.
with the terror that AMG is on, I bet you they're gonna show off like, well, here's a new Rebel mercenary, and it's gonna be more Ewoks, Ewok
That,
gliders.
well, you know who? You know what? No, I was talking to, um, oh man, at Bakersfield when I was talking to the boys. Um, I'm blanking on the name right now. But um, Grayson, Grayson told me they took it out. Support. There's no more support for Ewoks in the Battle Force.
What?
Yeah,
No.
go check the Battle Force for Ewok right now and tell me if there's a support option for Battle Force. He told me we were talking about it, and he told me they took it out, and I couldn't believe it. I was just like, "That's lame."
Was there ever one in there though? Because you
Yeah, there
could.
was.
Yeah, there was.
Because we were speculating that it was going to be gliders.
Mm,
Or the catapults.
Oh, I mean, did we ever see
No,
catapults in
it's
Star
there.
Wars?
It's on there.
Is it?
Yeah, Bright Tree Village. All the icons are there.
Are you looking on Legion HQ or are you looking on the AMG?
Legion HQ.
Look on AMG.
yeah, I need to look an AMG.
Oh, you can find that, Nick, because you're on your computer.
All right, I'll find it.
Okay.
I went lazy and went to my Google and just clicked Legion HQ.
Well,
It's
Nick
on the
is
quick
looking that up.
tabs.
Moving on, we'll go over to. I put dice and range rulers in here, but we're gonna go over one. I think they're gonna both say the same thing, but um, more dice. Each starter set comes with 4 of each dice. That's 4 red, 4 white, 4 black, 4 red defense, and 4 white defense. Um, in my opinion, when you get to 1,000 points, you're throwing probably at least 8 dice in one pool somewhere in your list, if not more. Um, so I feel like this is obviously for beginners. You know what? I think this is both beginners and
It's
veterans.
both.
Yeah, because you want to be able to not have to re-roll dice that you already rolled, because that confuses you. It's an extra step, takes more time. Whereas you have a lot of the dice accounted for, you can just throw them once in the pool. But yeah, I think this is. I'm gonna have to agree with you, Jose. This is good for beginners
Well,
and veteran because the more dice you have, I think the better. And
I think
specifically,
it's I think it's just beginners though.
no, it's both because people lose dice all the time, and like I've bought. I think I want to say I've probably in my lifespan of Legion I've probably bought I want to say like 6 packs of dice.
Oh my
What
gosh,
partially because I lost some, but partially because
you must lose a ton of
I'm in my
dice.
head and I'm like these dice suck. I need to buy new ones.
but to Nick's point, devil's advocate here. Um, if you're a veteran at this point in Star Wars Legion's history, don't you think you already have enough dice?
I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough white. I didn't. Okay, once again, using myself as an example, I did not have enough dice to throw in my big B1 squads, which is why I had to buy the dice pack just to get extra white dice.
I guess I'll give you that. I guess I'll give you that
And
when
I
they came out
still,
with the super squads that made
and
the dice.
That's true. That is for sure.
realistically, I drive people crazy because of all the white dice I have, I still don't have enough if I want it. So people hate when I use the clear dice. I love the clear dice. I went to my first competitive event. I got the clear dice. I love the clear dice just because that's a special thing for me. So when I'm throwing, 14 white dice, I realistically don't have enough dice that if my opponent was like, hey, can you please roll all the solid opaque white ones? I couldn't even meet that request because I still don't have enough flat white dice. You get what I'm saying? I need to buy another dice pack to replace the 4 clear ones at my
No,
opponent's
you tell them.
request.
Oh well.
I had been telling them, oh, well, but I still feel like a jerk.
I'll give you beginner veteran though. You could put beginner veteran there.
I'd have to agree.
I can never have enough dice.
Okay. Then what about range tools? I think this is obviously beginner. Even though you're gonna get the movement tools, you don't have enough range, in my opinion, for range 5. And my argument is that I think you need 6 when measuring out stuff onto the table.
Well,
The
how
starter box
many?
doesn't come with 6?
I
Yeah, how
think
many are you getting in the starter box?
I'm
The
pretty
original
sure
starter came with 6.
I'm pretty sure you're getting only no. I don't think the main starter set came
The
with
original
6.
starter came with 6.
But you were splitting it. So like if you're splitting it with the buddy, you 3 and 3. But
Well, you're not splitting this one though.
correct.
Yeah.
I think you're only getting 4.
Let's check.
Were
Yeah.
the original boxes meant to be split? I think people were just splitting them just because it was
Well, yeah,
easier.
because I mean, if you didn't
Well,
have
hold
one to
on.
play with, right?
Well,
you would
when I
just-
bought, so when I bought Clone Wars, I'd split one box with old buddy of ours that used to model Gundams, and I split one box, I think, with Dusty.
You
So
get
I re,
five.
re
You get five.
I had 6 tools.
I guess you get five at least going by the picture on the shop website.
But you
Picture.
would, so
So you get five.
why not give 6? You
What
need
what
6
what,
just
what
to
does it
measure the
say? Does it
game.
say in the description the range tools or no?
No, no, it doesn't say in the description because it doesn't get that specific. It just says, dice templates tools. I think five's plenty though. I've never brought six range. I've never brought six tools to a game. I brought five only.
Yeah, yeah. With that being said, since it is five, I think you're right. I think then this, I I think this is
Enthusiast,
enthusiast. Yeah,
you to replace your. Some people like are still using the old version 1 range
Yeah,
tools,
this is if you want the big thick tools that they
the
came
thick
out with.
boys.
yeah, and like just to get that range six, and then obviously if you're breaking your own range, like this has got to be enthusiast.
Mhm.
So, moving on, we have the battle set. I don't think that that's the right name for it, but this is where you get the battle board, you get the command cards, you get the tokens to keep track of your points and everything. Um,
It's a battle card pack.
Thank you, battle card pack. So pretty much this to me is veterans because up until this point we've been playing with print and play or third party stuff, and this is a way for you to get all of that, actual cardboard and actual, display for the battle to see where the points, victory points are going. So I think this one is for veterans and not beginners because again, beginners, if you get the starter set, you get this in there.
Yeah, I was just about to say this is supposed to be a buyer's guide, right? To help people decide what to buy.
Yes, correct.
Okay, yes. Don't buy this.
Yeah,
Don't buy this.
that's
Don't buy this. No one buy this at all because it's $30.
sure, sure.
It's
You think
30 it's $30 for the same thing, and we talked about this on the show, for the same thing that you get in the starter box for 100, and you get everything else in the starter box. Even if you don't need any of it, it like makes no sense to spend
you,
$30 on this
Jay,
when
you need
you
to
can
make a
just
new
buy the starter
tier
box. You need a new tier.
called
Don't buy
trash
this.
in the garbage.
Okay, hold on.
Garbage
You don't
can.
think enthusiast wants this?
No.
If you're
If
if
I
you're an
want print and play,
enthusiast,
I'm
just buy
going
a
to
starter
Etsy.
box.
Okay, I'm gonna have to play devil's advocate on this one.
Oh God.
I misspelled that one, or I did labeled it wrong. But devil's advocate
Don't
here.
buy the race tools.
if if you are a veteran and you want some cardboard, you don't want to spend money on a starter set because you don't need the models, right? You're not an enthusiast, you're not a beginner. Wouldn't it be safe to say that even those it's $30, this solves the issue of just like, okay, now I have all the new 2.6 stuff to start the game.
You can get it on Etsy for cheaper.
No, we're not going that route. We're doing for
It's print and play.
legit.
What do you mean?
I know, but I'm trying to stick to the whole, like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Nick. Don't buy this. You can get it on
Uh,
Etsy for cheaper.
I get what you're saying, and
Mhm.
I know what I'm saying is spend, $70 more.
Yes,
But it is spending $70 more for
but,
realistically what,
but,
like
but you already have that stuff.
$175 retail worth of models,
But you already have that stuff.
plus dice, plus range tools. I I I know you already have it, but that is just ridiculous. that
Well,
that
I
this
mean,
is that this pack is $30. I guess that's my problem. This pack shouldn't be $30.
sure.
That's too expensive. This pack is not priced appropriately.
Do you think it would have been too far had they made it like an order bonus? Like if you bought a starter kit, they would just chuck that in for free. You think that would break their backs?
Well, they don't need you get this in
Or
the starter
sorry.
kit. You don't
Yeah,
need this.
you get
Yeah, never mind. I'm trying to wing it to where they look like heroes.
I mean,
Okay.
the only thing you don't get is I guess what they're trying to sell you, because the only thing you technically don't get is you don't get the battle board, the scoreboard.
Right. Oh, you don't get that
which
in the starter set?
no, no, you don't get the
Ooh.
scoreboard. And I could be wrong, but I don't think I do not see the scoreboard in any of the pictures on the starter set. So,
Actually,
and
it is. So I'm on an Asmodee, and
hmm
on the back of the starter set, it shows the scoreboard.
Is
Like
it a folded pieces
it
of
says
paper?
include components, and it's the scoreboard. But again, I don't know the material, but it does show the scoreboard on there.
yeah, it's interesting. I see the picture scene. It doesn't actually say you get the scoreboard like in the text versus how that pack talks about getting that scoreboard. So I guess that
Ooh.
maybe we don't know if that scoreboard is actually different than the starter box. I know some people have already opened these up, so maybe we can find that out.
What also important to note too, and I watched Gray Squadrons Gaming on unboxing one of these. I wish I would have paid more attention. But if you look at the contents, Nick, you can see under one Rage tool set, it says, does that say 5 or 3 segments? Oh, five. Never mind. I'm wrong. I thought it said 3 for a minute, but I just needed to zoom in. But, yeah,
Blind.
I honestly think this is for a veteran because again, I get what you're saying. The better deal is to get the starter set for 40 bucks more. But if you don't want to buy any more extra stuff, if you don't if you already have your army and you're happy with it, like just buy this. That's it.
No, don't buy.
I, I guess if you don't want to put in the don't buy, then yes, you could put in the veteran. That's the only other place it could go.
We won 2 to
Well, no,
1.
no,
It's
no.
don't
I'm
buy.
not. I'm not disagreeing with you. If you agree with Nick, we're gonna put in the don't buy. I'm
It's
just trying to.
don't buy.
I'm just trying to make a case for it that, like, hey, veterans. This is for veterans, right? Like, this is to me screams veterans because it's just like if they don't want to invest any more into a starter set, like this, they could just get this.
Here's the thing. The reason it's a don't buy, and we can use the veteran thing, but like if you're a veteran, you're doing one of two things. One of three things. You've printed these out on stupid pieces of paper like a dummy. You've gone to a print and play place and had them print them out like Grandmaster Edward, or you've already purchased a printed cardboard set off of your favorite local website. So you should not need this at all as a veteran.
You're not wrong.
I think this is a cash grab for the enthusiasts who are like not enthusiasts, for the players who are like I want official Star Wars Legion product. Like those are the people that are gonna get this. Like, but if you're just playing the game to play the game, you already have it, and you've probably already got a hard copy from either a competitive event you've played where they handed cardboard versions of these out. You've gotten them on a website. You've printed them at. I keep wanting to say Costco, FedEx, not FedEx. Where the hell does Edward go and get his things?
FedEx, yeah,
Where?
FedEx, yeah.
Yeah, my point is you already have this at this point already. Like I'm with Nick 100%. Like this is them stealing your money.
Well, then it is don't buy. Majority always wins. Moving on. Okay, so I added this terrain pack because
Oh,
Woohoo!
in Star Wars
ugh.
Legion, there is no terrain for the game until AMG came along.
Well, wait, no. We've got the ATST the crash escape pod, the
Okay, you're right. You're right.
bunker. What are we
I'm
talking about?
wrong. You're right. You're right. So you're right. Absolutely right. There were those other terrain pieces that you could put in the
We have
game,
the X-wing.
but I think it's
Excellent.
important that we address it because um, when you get this game, you need terrain. That's a big part of the game. And they have stuff that you guys alluded to, other things other than this one image. And I'm only using the image as a reference for terrain overall. And I absolutely think this is beginners and maybe veterans, because beginners, you need terrain to play this game. And AMG and FFG came out with some stuff that is defined and could be used to play on your table. And you're gonna need relatively a lot. I feel like a tote full of terrain to make your table nice and looking and to have a
Not
good
at those
good time.
prices.
Sure, it's pricey. How much is this one again?
I bought it. I should know.
I can look that up in the meantime when we talk about it. But
Uh-uh.
I think it's
It's
beginners
60.
60. It's not too bad. I mean, the way when I saw it at
Oh
VetFest,
hell,
hold
that's
on, hold on.
terrible.
When I saw it at VetFest, well, Nick brought it. It looked pretty. It looked cool. Like I dig it. Like it looked really big as far as like being a big chunk of the map, right? Like you could make it spread it out, or you could put it all together. So I'm gonna put this one. My vote's going to beginners and veterans. Because in my opinion, veterans you can never have too much terrain.
That's
Um,
garbage terrain.
but Nick, where's your opinion?
So, since I think I'm the only person that purchased this in a 200-mile radius, um, I think it only has to go an enthusiast. This only goes enthusiast. Nope.
Really?
Yeah, because if this really was necessary for the game, then why did no one else buy it? I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that purchased this
Yeah.
in the
Hold
entire
on, hold on.
area.
I I
So
I hope we
so
get comments on this.
Yeah,
well,
comment if you bought it. Comment if you
I,
bought
I
this
would
terrain kit.
love
We
to
need
know
to
if anyone else bought this train but me in this area. Obviously, someone else elsewhere probably bought it, but in the Central Valley, if you bought this terrain, no, and you are right, JR. I It does look pretty nice. I painted it very nicely and it looked pretty cool on the table, so I'm actually very happy with it. But it is not necessary to buy. So that's why I would put it enthusiasts because you are right, you do need terrain, but you don't need this box of terrain or really any box of terrain that they make. You can use anything for terrain, but it is a nice piece. I was more satisfied with it than I thought I would be. I'll say that. I was more satisfied with it than I thought I would be after I put it together and painted it up. So I'm happy with it.
Makes sense. Okay, okay. All right, you kind of swayed me a little bit. We'll go over that in a minute. But Jose, what do you think?
Nick's terrain is very beautiful. It's very pretty, but remember, Nick, this blob of terrain was, I believe we had it shipped off the table, or at least scattered on the table, because it
Why?
was an
Okay,
eyesore.
I don't know
Hold on, JR.
who did that.
So yeah, whoever did that was
It
Yeah,
was
wrong
it
in
was
it
doing
was
fine where it
that.
no
was
no
It
no
at.
no
was
no no
fine.
hold on. It was an eyesore. It was non-functional. It
It
was
was fine.
wide open, no
No.
line of sight blocking. It was terrible. It was terrible. Me, John, I think Roman, Rob, we brought Rob to the table and we're like, dude, really? And he's like, whoa, what do you mean? Like this is stupid. Like anything that comes in this centerpiece where this giant ass pathetic piece of terrain is just not going to be interacted with. You're going to get killed here.
It's not a line set
This,
blocking
hold on,
terrain though.
hold on. That photo in there is such a it's such a misleading photo. The way they describe it, these are not walls. These are for six sorry, for $60 they sold you fancy barricades. That's all it is. It is a terrible that like, and it is super enthusiast because Nick, you got ripped off. Secondly, for the same price of $60 in Old Legion, you got a nice chunk line of sight blocking bunker.
Well, that
Complete
bunker that
with,
bunker was 80.
was it 80?
That was 80.
Either
Hey,
either way,
did you have to paint this terrain?
for for
Yeah, I painted
20
it. What do
Okay.
you
for
mean you
20
have to
more
paint
bucks,
it?
I don't
Yes, I
for
know.
20 more, hold on, for
I
20
don't
more
paint it.
bucks, you got a more functional piece of terrain and a side game mode to play with it. Okay? This terrain is the description's misleading. The terrain looks beautiful, but it's not functional. Not to me, and apparently that day I wasn't the only one.
Not functional. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Jared, it's the description says that those things are walls. That's not a wall. For people who live in like the suburbs, you know when you pass those nice homes that have
Hold on, sir. There
the
are
little walls. Hold
there
on.
are
They have the little masonry walls that are like 2 feet high to just make your house look nicer. That's all these are. If these were in Star Wars, they'd be little 2 feet high masonry walls. That's all like then it's ridiculous. Okay. Nick's being nice and saying enthusiast. It's obviously going to go to enthusiast because no, Jared's not going to agree with me. I think this is a don't buy. If you're going to spend money on this, you're better off shooting $60 to your local 3D printer and seeing him give you something that's actually functional. For half the cost, if not a little bit more than half the cost of what this is. It's just no. I'm the best decision made at VetFest was to get that terrain off the table. It saved people so many headaches.
Okay, okay.
Period.
I don't know why you guys were hating on that terrain so much. I feel like people need to leave terrain alone because I don't know how many times people see terrain on the table and they move it to better their positioning when it's just like, hey, whoever made the table, leave the table alone
Well,
and play on it and
The
criticize it
table
later.
has to be functional.
So
That if that was in if
Eh,
that was sorry
I don't
if
So-
care
that
if you
was
put a big old block on the table. Learn to play around it.
we talked. I
because the
talked.
guy with bugs who doesn't got to worry about that terrain, right?
So
Shut up.
we talked about the VetFest tables, and remember one of the, again, not problems, but things that would have done differently, and this is probably why maybe you thought the train didn't work the way it was set up, Jose, is that my tables were not set up by the way they were supposed to. The boxes were mixed, and again, totally fine, not the way I would have done it. If the tables would have been set up by the boxes they were set, I think it would have been fine.
Okay, so regardless of people mixing it up, Nick, that's that wall piece where it was deadlocked center in the middle of a map. If it would have been in the box it came with, Nick, are you telling me that entire wall setup is going right where it was at, right in the middle of the map?
Yes. Why
Sure,
can't
why
it?
not? Why
Yeah.
not?
What's wrong with it?
I usually wouldn't put I usually don't put a big
I'm
line
te-
of sight blocker in the middle.
No,
I
you don't
usually
need-
want something like this. Usually you want this type of train in the middle.
Yeah, there's literally no reason why it cannot be where it was at because all tables there's no layout to how to build a table, and
The
you can have a
way-
uniqueness of it. If someone's complaining about that being in the terrain, it's because maybe it wasn't good for their army.
No, the way that table was set up,
I
It
remember
may-
the table.
yeah, I remember the table too, and so did three other guys that agreed that that was a piece of shit scenario to put that in. My point is,
Hold on, I gotta stick up
is-
for the person that built the table. Stop hating. Learn.
the
to
person
play
that built
with-
the table agreed with the changes.
maybe because there was 3 against 1.
No.
That could be a possibility. Peer pressure is a
we-
thing.
No, when we pointed out why it was an issue, it was like, oh, okay, I see how it is.
Oh,
Yes,
again,
exactly.
why you got three people on one? Come on.
Oh my God, yes, because
I would have told you to suck it.
Now
Once again, the guy with the bugs that is unhindered, that can jump, that can fly, that can move, has no issue on that point whatsoever. It makes
got-
complete
You
sense.
just gotta think happy thoughts and you fly, baby. That's all you gotta do.
No, that was had you faced Zach on that map, and it had been pre-change. Oh, dude, you would have had Zach in turn 2. I'm saying that
It
push
just
to the
looked
side.
when whoever made the table, it looked fun. It looked fun. I saw it and I was just like, that looks fun. Because it wasn't fully line of sight blocking. There obviously wasn't give you heavy cover. But it just again, it looked fun.
The closest line of sight blocker was so far from that point. It was crazy. It was obnoxious.
And Jose, you're actually kind of agreeing with me, even though you're not, because by saying putting it in don't buy, that's pretty much the same as me saying put it in enthusiast. Everything in the enthusiast is pretty much you shouldn't be buying
because
it.
no, because
I agree. Why do we have a don't buy?
no, because
The board should be in the enthusiast too. That's the only people that are gonna get it.
I'm just saying like like you that
But okay, but I think we're going off track here a little bit.
I was let down by this box. Like I had
that-
my hopes up.
I think
and
we're
it was-
focusing too much on the box.
So,
and
hold on.
Okay, go ahead. Make your last point.
Last point. AMG, please, if one guy in a 200-mile radius bought this, I wanna say that this is not a once our area type thing. I wanna say if we were able to see who like buys these, I don't think it was a lot. So please learn from this and give us terrain that functions with your game, because this was not it.
What is your
Jared,
argument? Is your argument for LOS or for scatter terrain?
No, my argument is just have functional terrain. And JR, if one person 200 miles bought it, is that sign of something?
That's not an argument because it's not the world, right? And even then, it does function as
how
it
many
needs
when
be
we go to
for terrain.
LVO,
You can
when we go
use
to
those
LVO,
walls
we'll
for
ask
heavy
how many
cover.
people bought this.
It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. If only one guy bought it, it still functions that it needs to do on terrain, which could be
No, that's
scattered
like saying
terrain.
I bought this piece of shit car, but because I bought it, everybody else is gonna buy a piece of shit car.
No,
No,
incorrect.
you're the
No, no,
you're
no.
the dummy who bought the
That's not the
piece of shit
argument. The
car, and
argument is
everybody has
that's not
better
the argument. The
cars.
argument is if you bought a piece of shit car, but it gets you to point A to point B, it's not a piece of shit car. It
Yes,
Well,
does
it
what it needs to
is.
do.
Yes, it
and
is.
and
And
again,
A Geo,
and
that's
again,
not a piece of shit car.
again, I was very happy with my purchase. I was more happy.
Nick, you're
I
happy with
was
all your
no,
purchases.
Okay,
I've
but
never
I
heard you
okay.
give a bad
was
review.
more happy than I expected to be. I wasn't planning on buying this. I just bought it just because.
I
But I was more happy with it than I
Nick's a
expected to
terrain
be.
goblin.
I think Jose's got too much hate for it. I think it does what it needs, but again, I think we're going away from the point. We're focusing too much on the box when overall this should be for terrain. Um,
Enthusiast. Put enthusiast.
okay, enthusiast is going. I feel like we should just get rid of don't buy.
No, that one actually should stay in don't buy.
Okay.
Not even
Don't buy,
enthusiast should
buy
buy that one.
Okay.
buy barricades instead. People go find them. You'll be way happier.
Moving on.
Oh.
Moving on. Okay, we have your faction command card. So each faction in Star Wars Legion is going to have its own card pack for command cards. And this is going to be all the command cards for every single commander that's ever been out in the game. Rest in peace, Emperor Palpatine. So I we're going to start with Nick on this. So Nick, do you feel like this is beginners? Where do you think this one should go?
I think we need another category.
No, we can't.
We need we
You're
need
the guy. If you were a teacher, you'd be
yeah.
like plus or minus, 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 plus, plus.
We need picky veterans. We need veterans that are picky. Cause because like me, I need all the cardboard. And
Sure.
I know there are other veterans that also feel the same, but then I know there are a lot that don't. And I know there are a lot that are fine doing the print and play and will not buy a single one of these.
But
But I hear both. I hear both. Either both are out there. So it's hard to say who this is. It's hard to say this is for veterans because there's gonna be a lot of people that says, nope, not buying that. Don't need it.
let's play devil's advocate here. Let's pretend print and play doesn't exist.
Oh, well, then you have to buy veterans.
Right.
It's mandated that at that point.
Because I feel like our direction is because obviously AMG stuff is print and play aside from the miniatures. And so like that component in its own, if you're okay with just printing your stuff, like you could just ignore this whole list, right? Aside from the minis. You do need to buy the minis. Um, but with that being said, I think we should approach this as in print and play is not a thing, even though it is a thing. Does that make sense?
Sure. Well, then you gotta put in veterans then,
Okay. I agree. I
because
agree.
we all need it. That's
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah. And again, I know there's people out there that don't
And
care for the cardboard that just print and play.
and to be honest, even it's probably the only place it really can go
Yeah.
as far as a category.
What do you think, Jose? You agree with us?
Oh, I was gonna say beginner, and veteran, regardless of print and play.
I guess that's true. I guess the beginners
Well,
could use
no,
it.
no, because if a beginner, if they're barely buying off stuff, they're gonna get these command cards when they buy that unit.
Well, but also keep in mind there are beginners like ones that attend your learn to plays that have that probably already
Yeah.
invested in minis.
I,
Like for example, Caleb selling his CIS army. Now,
I
granted, we're he's selling it in pieces to the vultures in the Discord, but if somebody was to buy that set for the price he's offering it, they would then need this pack and they would in fact be a beginner. So there are beginners out there that have stuff right now that are still beginners. Hell, even in the Bako Boy chat, there's a guard player who doesn't have Echo and fives, and and he had people be like, "Hey, we got this," and oh, I don't have that, but he's a beginner, and he would need these cards because yeah, he may not buy the starter set because he has a starter uh guard army already. There's just pieces he's missing. Realistically, when he was asking about Echo and Fives, he doesn't need the starter set. He needs the five heroes of the 501st. You get what I'm saying? So he would need heroes of the 501st, and then he would need to buy this Gar card pack as a beginner player because he
I
already has his stuff there.
I would argue that he is now a veteran because he's already buying stuff. He knows how it's working. He knows how it's playing. I look at it as like a beginner, like trying to see what they need to buy, to make 1,000 point army game.
No,
Um,
you can be a beginner and still be in the
yeah, well, in
playing
the sense
stage.
that like when you're looking for stuff to buy, like a
So
beginner,
then beginner's not
he
the
did
word.
like
New player is what you're looking for.
sure, but we can rename it new
Beginner
player.
difficulty,
But
intermediate
isn't that
difficulty,
what a
like
beginner is? A new player?
no, because to me, a beginner is somebody who has not everything. They have enough stuff to begin playing the game, but they don't have everything they would need that they could get. That's for me, a new player is somebody entering the game with zero. I am new to this game. I've gone to a couple learn to plays. I'm now interested because of GR's learn to plays. Hey Roman, put me down for a starter set, put me down for dice, put me down for everything. This beginner guy in Bakersfield is not going to go to autos and be like, put me down for this because he already has stuff. All he really needs is cards and one 501st pack. He's a beginner player because he's in the beginning stages of the game, which is still learning the game. New players have nothing. When you put on a video game, what does it say? New player. Cool. Now you have your save file. Now you're a beginner. So that to me, that's the
So
difference.
did he? You said he had stuff already, right?
Yeah, like he just got into the game, but he has some Gar stuff, but not everything.
I think I just look at it from perspective of just what are you buying from this rollout? So kind of may take third hand off the market because third hand could kind of take anything. Then now you're throwing a lot of variables in. But just if you're going to AMG's website or going to your local game store and you're buying stuff that's going to be coming off the shelf over these next several months, like
Yeah, and
what
that's what I'm
kind of
saying.
yeah.
The card pack would be good for to me, once again, my opinion of beginner is somebody who's in the early stages of already playing the game, whereas new player is somebody who's never even sniffed a mini for
Oh, I
Legion.
I took beginner as new player.
Yeah, see, it's a difference of thought. But no, yeah. So I think it's good either way.
Uh, so you say it's a beginner, Jose. What did you say, Nick?
Veteran.
No,
Better.
I said it's both.
Oh yeah, you did say it both. You did say it both. All right, moving on. We also have unit cards. So every faction is gonna get all the unit cards of every unit that's ever come out. And you're not going to get max of them. So, like for instance, core, you're not going to get six because you have max six core, but you're going to at least get three of each. I don't know if that's true for all ranks, because I know heavies you can't have three, right? But yeah, if you get a Pacific faction unit card pack, you're going to get all the units that's ever came out in the game. Jose, where do you think this bad boy should go?
Don't buy.
Okay, okay. Whoa, that's shocking. Okay, why? Tell me why.
Because your starter set's gonna have what you need in
Okay,
terms of cards.
okay.
Secondly, any pack that you buy, for instance, when you buy your Heroes of the 501st, you're gonna have your cards from those units in there, assuming. Not upgrades, you'll have those cards. You'll have Arc Troopers, you'll have Rex, you'll have who else is there? Obi-Wan. So therefore you wouldn't need this pack. And people who are veterans in the game already, like I said before with the other cards, you either printed them, had them printed on paper,
Get rid
printed
of
on
print.
two ply.
Get rid of print and play.
Okay, then no, don't buy it because as a new player, your starter set and anything you add on to it is already going to have cards.
Sure.
So when you buy your starter set and you have your Gar starter set and you have two to four infantry. Well, you're gonna want to buy two more boxes of infantry, so you can have six. So when you buy that other box of infantry, remember they said the boxes are gonna be able to be one to two, one big squad or two small squads. You're gonna buy that other box of infantry, and now you have two more of those cards. And you buy something else, you're gonna have it's all gonna have their unit card in those boxes.
You don't think a veteran would need this?
No, once again, you can't tell me print and play doesn't exist because I'm a veteran. I have all my cards and I got it from print and play. You can't say that and
Can I
then
ask you a
take a
question?
component
Can I
out.
ask you a
Yeah.
question? Are you gonna buy a unit card pack?
No.
Really? I will bet you. I'll make a
You
bet with you right now.
okay?
I
Hold on. Before you make that bet,
uh okay okay
I'm saving you. I'm saving you.
okay because you already
I've
got
said
third
it.
party right.
Hold on. I've said this on many
Uh-huh.
podcasts already.
Uh-huh.
I've said this to John. I
Hmm.
said this. Nick already knows. Easy victory. You can buy an entire army pack of all these cards, and it's exactly what you need.
Okay. So again, we're going away from third party, right?
You
Yes.
can't.
Yes, you can. You can. You can. I know. I
Okay.
know. I know. It is a variable, right? But
A
if you
veteran,
want,
does a
if
veteran need the starter box? Yes or no?
no,
Okay, so then why wouldn't I need the starter box? Because I already have the
the miniatures.
cards, miniatures.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have the
So
cards?
so yes, I have the cards.
Not from a third party.
Dude, once again, you I get what you're trying to do. I'm not trying to argue. You cannot. Does AMG supply the game as print and play? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Does AMG consider print and play a focal part of this game? If you want to play something, you can print it and have it. Yes.
Yes. But
Therefore,
this is a
you
buyer's
cannot
guide.
roll. Yes, and I'm saying don't
We're
buy
not
it.
advertising third party. I'm talking about just advertising what AMG is
Yes,
offering.
once again, I then we can have a difference of opinion because once again, I'm
Okay.
saying don't buy
Okay.
this.
So just to be clear, the reason why you're not buying a unit card pack is because you already went to a third party source and have them all. Is that correct?
I have print and play cards already,
That's
and
not what I
any
said.
new unit
That's not what I said. I
and
said,
any
did you already get all unit cards from a third party source?
yes, and they print them,
Okay. All right.
correct?
That's all we need. So
Okay, hold on, hold on.
you're
No,
okay, okay, okay. You
They
just proved
print
my
them,
point for me.
correct? No,
you,
they
you
print
proved my,
them.
okay, okay.
Did the people I buy the third party from did they print those
We're,
cards?
we're not talking about we're now talking about a difference of price, right?
No, it's not a
And
difference of
and and
price.
authenticity.
What do you
But
mean?
I bought the card pack.
What's any more authentic? What's any more authentic
I mean,
than me
this could
printing it
be
on a piece of paper or having somebody print it
what,
for
what
me?
what I'm saying is that you like cardboard, yes?
Yes.
So the reason why you went to a third party source was one is because they had it ready.
Hmm.
Two, it's because it's cheaper. Is that correct?
What do you mean?
The cards that you bought are cheaper than what they're gonna be when this comes out. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. So you're proving my point in a way that you're just arguing price point.
No, because there's
You
plenty of people that have print
no,
cards
what
already.
I'm saying, I'm using you as the example. Is you bought all these cards already. You have cardboard of these cards.
Yes,
Okay.
but hold
But
on.
you just
Besides the
went to a
price,
different place.
no. Hold on. You're also
Okay.
forgetting one thing. Why did I print them out? It wasn't for price because we didn't know these cards were
You didn't
coming
print them
out.
out. You bought them.
They are printed on cardboard, are they not?
I
Yes or
know, but
no?
you didn't print them out. You bought
You
them.
Once again, okay. What I'm trying to get at, hold on,
Okay.
is
Okay.
why did I get these cards? Because I wanted them on cardboard because I didn't want
Yes.
them printed out on what? Paper.
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm saying that anybody who wanted cardboard should already have them. So
Why?
why would you
Because again, because of my first point was they were available now as opposed to later. Because this is all coming out at the end of the year, relatively probably at the end of the September. So you got it because it was ready at the time that they changed 2.6, or relatively close to when they changed 2.6,
hmm
right? So that's why you got it because you can get it now. And your other argument is that it's cheaper than what they're selling it for.
hmm
But nonetheless, as a veteran, you bought all the cards. And that's exactly what this box does. Is if somebody didn't want a third party, they can go to their local store or Asmodee and buy this and get the same thing that you bought for a cheaper price. Right?
What you're saying you're saying the Asmodee product's cheaper?
No, that's what you said.
But I'm saying now they can. I'm saying when I bought the cards, price wasn't a thing because we didn't know what the price of these cards were going
Well,
to
that's
be.
right. So
It just happened to be cheaper.
again,
My
my
point
point. Okay, good.
my point is just let's if you're buying the starter kit, you have what you need to play the minis.
We don't have to
When
focus
you
on the
buy
starter. We're talking
any
about veterans.
okay, vet okay, once again, Roman's gonna buy new strike teams. He's a veteran. He's gonna have the cards that come in that pack already. When he opens up those box of scouts, he's gonna have two new scout cards.
Okay, but
So
I'm
Roman
using
would
you
not.
as a reference here. You
Okay,
you
if
are
I
a veteran and you got
okay,
all the cards.
okay, yes, okay.
Okay,
So
so
when
this
the
is a
new,
good deal for a veteran.
so when no,
Which
But you
slot
have all
do you want to? Which slot do you want to put it in?
the.
I'm sticking in don't buy.
Okay, we'll move on. Nick's got a point. Move on to
Jeez.
Nick. Where do you want this to go?
Put in veterans.
There you go. Veterans is the answer. Again, this is just the convenience of all of the unit cards are in one box. You grab it. You have all the new 2.6 stuff because unfortunately, all the old Legion stuff is obsolete. You can't use all those cards unless it's specifically 2.6. So
Nick bought it just because he wanted Asmodee products.
No, I wanted the official cards.
there you go.
It's Asmodee products. You
Yes,
have official
That's
print and
valid.
play cards.
no, because I didn't even I did only bought the first pack. I don't even have all the cards because the first pack that they sold on Etsy did not have all the 2.6 cards.
Because they got announced later.
Mhm.
Moving on. This next one is upgrade card pack. I think this one is a beginner slash veterans because they change how all upgrade cards look, and in my opinion, it's kind of dumb, but they made it standard card size. So for
Change size. Yeah.
yes, so for veterans, you want this because it gets all your upgrades to be the size that it normally is. For beginners, you're not going to get all the upgrades in the starter set. This is a convenient way to have all of that without having to buy a new unit that's going to have that stuff already. This is just, oh, hey, if I buy this with my starter set, I have more options to build my army. So my vote is both beginners and veterans. What do you think,
And
Nick?
well, this is again why I feel like we need a picky category. Because because again, I bought this not only because I want official, because I want all my cards to be the same size.
Sure.
Mhm.
I don't want my cards to be different sizes, and that's just a purely, a picky thing to want to have. But like that's what I want, and I'm sure there's other players that are the same way. But
I
yeah,
feel,
it could go in the veterans. Yeah.
you do veterans is specifically, or would you
Ve
be okay
ve Veterans are
beginners?
beginners. Yeah. Veterans are beginners. Yeah.
Jose, do you agree?
Yeah, I'm the guy who doesn't like the different size cards. Like I'm buying
Yeah,
this just because I hate having the tiny cards.
I agree. It sucks. I like the tiny cards specifically because they have art on them. This one is just no art. But
Are they not
again,
doing art at all on
no,
these?
nope,
No,
no
no
Not
art.
art.
even for like promos or nothing?
Maybe promos.
Maybe,
Maybe.
yeah, maybe for promos or for the booster packs we're gonna get.
Yeah, yeah, that it could be
I'm
optional.
excited for that.
Oh, me too. That's gonna be so good. Moving on. Now, I want you guys' hot takes on this one. I specifically put the custom commander in here to get you guys' take. So we'll go with Nick first. Nick, do you think this is gonna be what category would you put this in? Let's go with that. Don't
Well,
buy.
Don't buy.
I can't let my personal bias
There you go.
cloud my judgment. Um, no, it's everybody, right? It's beginner and veterans for sure. Yeah,
What about
they're
you,
both
Jose?
gonna want it.
It's same thing. It's
Yeah.
the
Yeah, just because the ability to so in this box you're gonna get to be able to make a custom commander and a custom operative with doctrines that give you different keywords and they're relatively cheap options. So when beginners, if you're getting this guy, you can make him however you want to look. You can name him. I guess you can't really name them, but in your headcanon you can name them. And then it's another commander for your army, which in 1,000 point games you kind of run two commanders. So I think it's a great fight buy for beginners, veterans, who doesn't want to make custom things other than Nick. But yeah,
Commander Nick. We're gonna make a Commander Nick and give it to you for your birthday.
I wonder if I can make a bet with Nick where he has to bring a custom commander.
I won't own
He
one.
he doesn't own one.
We'll
We're
make
gonna
you one,
gift
Nick.
you one,
Yeah,
Nick.
well, there you go. Watch you love it and always play it.
We'll even
Move,
magnetize it so you have different head options.
moving on. I added the core rank in this to buy because I feel like the core is one of the most important units in Legion, as in you have you need to run a minimum of 3. So, and I think you get a minimum of 3 in the starter set, but you can have up to 6. And
It's 4 in the starter.
you're probably right. You're probably right because you can upgrade them,
It's
right?
two double. You have 2 double squads, which are
Yeah,
4 single squads.
correct. You are correct. So you get 4, but
And the core
again,
boxes are 1 double squad, and which would be 2 core.
yeah. And again, I think the core is the second most important rank, and that you could have 6 and fill out your army a little bit more beefy. So I think the core options got to go on beginners. Veterans probably already have this, and they probably have 6 in each of their armies that they own,
He
because
said
of that reason.
6.
This is only beginner, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you're a veteran and you want more core, just because you might as well buy Starbucks.
That's valid. That's a valid point. Jose, you good with that?
Oh no, yeah, no, it's perfect because the starter box you get 4 core, and then with 1 core box you now have 6 to fill out your army.
Now, technically, you only get 2 core in the starter box, just to be correct with what we're saying. You get 2
Well,
core.
it's 2 core super squads.
It's 2 core super squads, but it's just what actually is in there, what's on the box. It is 2 core.
Yeah, because you could turn them into 4, but I don't
Yeah.
think you're gonna get 4
because
four options.
you're not gonna get 4 rocket launchers, 4 leaders.
Who runs the rocket launcher?
No, I'm just saying.
I
And
know. I'm
4 new, but for a new player,
You're getting 4 HH12s.
like
No.
if somebody walked in the store, I would not tell that new player they're getting 4 core squads, because that would be misleading. Because they're going to open those, put them together, and be like, "Wait a minute, I only have where's my other leaders?" Right?
I have 2 core tokens.
Right. So, because that's not what's technically in there. It is enough models to do that, but technically that's not what's in there. So if I were to explain that to a new player, I would say there's 2 core in that box.
It doesn't say on the starter box how many army tokens you get.
I think you get enough tokens, I think, for the full army, but it's more about the models in it.
No, I'm saying like if it gives you 4 core tokens if you want to split them apart, then technically it's 4 core.
No, but you won't have the models to split.
Gar's not bringing
core.
heavies anyway.
But I'm just saying again. Think in terms of a new player. A new player doesn't know about the game, and you're selling them this box, and they take it home and build it, and then bring it back, and then they're wondering where their other rocket launchers are. Where are their other leaders, right? So that's what I'm just saying. It is technically
I
2 core. It is 2 core.
I look them in the eyes and I tell them, "You're a Gar player. Why are you running 6-man units?"
I'm just saying it's 2 core. It's not 4.
Nick is definitely right.
Yeah,
just
he is.
Let the beginners know.
I'm playing.
And then, but yeah, you could turn those into 4 squads if you wanted to. So. But moving on, the last one we want to talk about, I think we all know this one goes, but I'll get you guys' take. They're coming out with the 3D objective tokens. So in the starter set and in the battle card pack, or not the battle card, is that what it's called? The one with the
yeah.
Okay. You're gonna get these POI tokens, which I don't know what they're made out of, but you need
probably cardboard.
They're hard plastic, right? They're gonna be hard plastic.
You hope, or you know?
Oh yeah, they will be.
So you need those for the game. That's very important because the way the game is played.
Hold on.
Yes.
We didn't even get hard plastic core tokens. Like I don't see why
these are POIs, right?
But why would they need to because essentially you pay more for plastic, so why would they up the cost of whatever that those are in?
You might be right.
When they could just give you cardboard and you don't got to do
it is $30.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking it's cardboard.
These tokens? Why would they? No, these are not cardboard.
No, POIs?
These POIs?
Not these ones. Not these ones.
These. Oh, no. Oh, yes. The ones in the starter pack are cardboard. Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. So those are cardboard because that's why these are plastic. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So going back to this is the 3D objective tokens. So specifically, these are POIs that are plastic, and they have scenery on your POIs to kind of make it look cool onto the table, right? Because normally the ones you get in the starter set and the battle card pack are flat cardboard, and there's nothing special about them other than they represent the POI.
And
Uh,
also asset tokens as
yep.
well.
Yes, you also get asset tokens, which I might have to get this. So this is a way to make it more, Star Warsy, make it look cool and everything. Think we could all agree, and if anybody agrees, let me know, and we'll talk about it. This is enthusiast right here. Well, okay, we got some difference of
No,
opinions.
we do. No, I agree. I agree.
Okay, you
Do
sure?
you really
Are you
agree,
sure?
Nick?
Yeah, yeah.
No, that was a long pause.
Don't
What
hold
were you
back
gonna
now.
say? What were you gonna say, Nick? Because I think I agreed with you because we paused the same.
Well, did you say it?
No, it
To be honest, it is veteran beginner. I believe it's veteran beginner. The only thing I hate about this box is they don't give you enough POIs, meaning you have to buy two boxes.
Sure. What about you, Nick?
yeah, no, it goes in enthusiast, but yes, you only get four, which is so funny that they
Infuriating.
did they
Yeah.
didn't give
They
you.
want more money out of you, Nick. They want you to buy your
Well,
box,
I
JR to buy his box, and
yeah,
then you guys split a box.
I guess I could see a little bit in that if most of your Legion games you split the tokens, right? But
Mm.
usually if somebody brings fancy ones, you want to use all fancy. So you don't
Mhm.
want to split if that's the case. But yeah, it's enthusiast. I pre-ordered this. It is ordered. I ordered this. So we're gonna see. So just like the other train box, I was not I was pleasantly surprised how much I liked it. We'll see how this one turns out.
All right, all right. Oh, well, there you goes, guys. There's our buyer's guide for the end of the year when all this stuff is coming out. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If it was, please let us know so that way we can do more in the future to let you know yay or nay to buy or who should buy it. Um, but that being said, we're going to stop that here. Stop sharing my screen, dang it. And we'll move on to rules questions. Jose, you got rules questions for us?
Yeah, so first off, the forums are weird right now. Just putting that up for anybody who wants to follow up on these after we talk about them. Because for the record, I read the general conversation of these notes, but Seth gets really detailed in terms of showing you the actual like rules document excerpt and what it says, and then he'll reply in like regular English, talking to you like you're five. So just for anybody who ever follows up on this after we have after you give us a listen, just know that the website looks like it's an old IRS computer right now. All right, so let's go ahead and bring up some questions. So this one's by Broski, and he says, "Is the Backworld medic able to heal any non-droid trooper unit in my Shadow Collective army? He has Maul, Black Sun, Pikes, or Mandos." He then says, "I had heard from someone that it cannot because they aren't the same affiliation, but I don't think it mattered in the Shadow Collective Battle Force before."
This is important because I'm taking a list with backward medic for my pikes and Mandos this Sunday. So I'm hoping the answer is yes, affiliation doesn't matter. You can heal no matter what. That's my vote.
That'd be my vote too. I can't recall I've ever seen anything about affiliation for treat.
Seth says there is no such restriction on Backworld Medic upgrade card, so it may affect allied units of any faction or affiliation. This is true both within and without Shadow Collective Battle Force.
Uh-huh.
So it doesn't matter. I think I don't know. Maybe so I've had mix-ups with Shadow Collective where I'm like, ooh, I could do this, and like, no, you can't because they're different like sub
It,
factions.
that's why a beginner should not get Shadow Collective box
Yeah.
because of the affiliation stuff. It just convoluted, makes things difficult and hard to remember.
Yeah. All right. But they're cool.
They are cool. That's true.
I need to get back on Shadow Collective because our boy JB said I betrayed him by jumping off the Shadow Collective bandwagon. I don't remember being on it. I remember like liking it a lot, but I told him next event I go to, that's for fun. I'm gonna take four Mandos.
You better take Gar
So
because you keep preaching about Gar.
I love Gar. He's an dude. When have you seen me on Shadow Collective without Gar? What the heck?
You're not
Uh,
wrong.
I'm the Gar believer. All right. So this one's another back row medic. This one is by a guy named Dandy. He says, "Hi, can you remove wounds that are placed on eSIMs with the back row medic?"
No, I
Yeah,
hope I'm wrong.
no.
Hope I'm wrong, because that'd be cool.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Seth said, "No wound tokens on emergency sims upgrade card are not on a unit and cannot be removed using the game effects such as back row medic." It'd be busted if you could.
It would be.
Just keep healing the card.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I was actually happy with that answer because I was like, man, it would suck if he's like, well, technically the wounds are for that model and you're treating that model. I'm like, oh no. All right, so this one is useful for the new stuff coming out. It says, in what phase, this is by Zadok Gilson. He says, in what phase does command and control uplink trigger? In specific, does it trigger before or after one step ahead?
Oh,
One step ahead.
that's the new card, huh? Oh
The
yeah.
new
Yeah.
card.
And one step ahead, I believe, says when the cards are revealed.
JR wanted good ones, so I picked new ones.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm gonna say the command uplink happens before the one step ahead.
Okay. Nick.
Mm, no, I'm gonna say after because you have to have already determined the Pippin priority. So I'm gonna say after.
So it is after, and this is how Seth breaks it down. He says, in what phase does the command card command what in what phase does command and control uplink trigger? Seth says the command and control uplink card effect is used before determining priority. And then he says one step ahead is applied before resolving command card effects. This will occur prior to command and control uplink being applied to treat the pips on a command card differently.
Interesting. Okay.
All right.
Good to know.
So now we're getting into this one, and just I'm gonna preface this for new players and us veterans. So in the old days, we had these cool lizard things called dewbacks. And a problem that people had with the dewbacks was the dewbacks well, they didn't overhang their AT-ST bases, but that's a different story. They overhang on their bases. The head pops out one side, the butt pops out the other. And back in the day, a problem that people had was like, if I want to get in a melee, boom, I'm in melee, but all my rules say all my minis must be touching the base. And the dewback doesn't allow that to happen because the dewback's neck is lower than a lot of the miniatures. So basically they had did a margin of error situation. Do you guys remember what it was exactly? I don't remember exactly what it was, but I know there's a margin of error section, which basically, I guess, superseded that and made it where they would be all melee.
Well, that's the thing is like you have to touch base with your unit leader. That's the most important thing to get into melee. So miniaturing when you're trying to cohesion or touch the base of the dewback, you technically the margin of error could be at the head, like touching the head, but not be in base contact, but still be considered in base contact, right? Because that's where the margin of error would be, and trying to fit everybody. That's the same now in 2.6, where if you can't fit everybody because we got the big squads, you just put them as close to the guy as you can, and then even those are not touching the base.
Do you remember anything about that old rule,
Yeah,
Nick?
that's kind of my understanding too, is that a model like the Dewback did not you would play around that interference that you wouldn't take that in consideration. At least that's
Okay.
how we've always played.
Yeah, and
You know,
apparently
yeah.
it's a little weird. So this is kind of a long one. So we're gonna go in steps on this. There's a part that I think is hilarious. But we're gonna go through it. So this is by Rowdy Octopus. This was posted in on July 31st, and the funny part is it was responded to 4 weeks later.
Ooh,
So this is the Galactic Conquest document says that the size or pose of a customized miniature cannot interfere with the gameplay. However, Many Legion miniatures built on their default poses can overhang their base. I don't believe these minis would be considered customized. This can range from small base troopers all the way up to the largest vehicles. Some of these overhangs can even prevent miniatures from reaching physical base contact with terrain or each other, which seems like that could be considered interfering with gameplay. I had this happen to me with my AAT. I've also been a victim of this with my Saber tanks. So I have experienced this. Um, there are a few previous rulings that say vehicles protruding from their base will prevent base contact with the terrain, and that you should remove them from their base in order to reach base contact. So, which is what we decided that last time we played. Vehicles also have firing arcs, and in general, their exact position and orientation has multiple gameplay ramifications. Small base troopers do not have firing arcs, and their orientation doesn't change gameplay. So he asked us three questions. First question is, the physical miniature of a small base trooper prevent miniatures from reaching base contact, assuming no adjustments can be made in other words, if two minis can't touch their bases due to their miniatures, then they are not considered to be in base contact, correct? So if my gun's sticking out and your gun's sticking out for some odd reason makes it to where we can't touch, we are not
Well,
considered, we
why would
can't be
you?
a mini.
Why would you ever be in that position?
Well, actually, it's kind of funny this is coming up because have you looked at the Savage model? He is sticking way out on that rock or whatever he's on. You
Hmm.
can't even touch half of his base.
But I guess if it came to like a millis movement, like a millis, I don't know the right word for that, but like I guess
It
yeah.
just it just interesting it's coming up because the first thing I noticed when I looked at the new Savage model from Gen Con that was teased,
Mhm.
there is like half that base. You will not be able to. It looked like about half of it. You cannot base a model on it.
There's already scheming. How can I put him where he
Well,
can't
yeah,
be in
because
melee?
like measurement wise, right? It's range one. You should be able to base if you're within range one. But if this is correct, Savage Press is positioned in a certain way where
Well,
the rock is exposed. It's no longer range one. You need a little bit more to get to it,
To get to the side.
which you don't
well,
have.
and that's why I would say this doesn't matter. I would say that's null and void. That shouldn't matter.
So
So you're
Seth
saying that you should
says,
base it no matter what.
Yes.
Okay.
The model, that's at least how I would say the model for a small trooper should not, nothing should interfere with the base.
okay. So just to refer, I'm gonna read that last line again. In other words, if two minis cannot touch their bases due to their miniatures,
Oh, you
then
got it.
they are not considered to be in base contact, correct? Seth's response is, yes, this may occur that a miniature hangs beyond its base in a way that affects the placement of other miniatures.
So you can't get into base contact.
So here's the thing though. Did he actually answer the question?
Well, that was the first part. So Rowdy asked three instances, and I'm reading
Yeah.
one to the answer, because the next part is now an addressment that I've seen players do to help compensate for just being a gentleman. Ready? So Seth on that answer was yes, it may occur that a miniature hangs beyond its base in a way that affects placement of other miniatures. Point two from Rowdy says, can players spin their small base troopers to change the orientation of the protruding parts of the miniature in order to obtain base contact? I assume the moving player can place their small base troopers in any orientation they want, but can the unit that is not moving adjust the orientation of their small base trooper? So basically, he's saying, I can move my minis and turn my minis how I want to get into the base contact. But can my opponent, being the gentleman, spin his mini in place so I can make base contact?
I would say
JR,
yes.
your Savage is we both know I can make melee.
Yeah.
I can't position myself to get in there. could you would you spin your Savage to help them out in like a gentleman like cool?
Oh,
You
like
can
like
clearly
like
make it.
if it's part of the rules, I would hope yes,
I've
you
seen it done
should.
like
No,
this.
I agree. Like the gentleman rule is yeah, and I hope that's part of the rules that you should, because look at my Grievous. I have the cape and the sabers all out, and the cape sticks so far off the base that like you can't approach him from the back,
Use it to your advantage.
and you can't even approach him from the side because the sabers are all out. Like the only way is in the front. I'm hoping that yes, you have to spin it around. That's my
And
So
hope.
Nick,
so,
can you spend
and this is what I would say. No, you don't have to spin it because it's not even required for you to do
So,
so.
so you're saying you could base it regardless?
I would say, and maybe I'm totally
well,
wrong in
the
saying this.
first one says you can't.
I would say you don't need to spin it because the act of basing is complete. So, and again, and maybe I'm totally wrong, and I'd be curious to have more conversation on this. I've based you as best I could.
But
We're
if you're not
based.
touching base,
Doesn't matter. We're based
well,
because we're
you
that
guys you guys have the same photo I'm looking at if you guys want to read it for yourself. The first point he made says that this can happen where you can't touch. So you're not based.
no, but so I guess I maybe I'm looking too much in his words. He says you can't touch. He didn't say it stops the melee.
Right.
He says it doesn't touch. I would say, as somebody that's played miniature games a long time, that the model doesn't stop you from basing. True,
Well,
we're not true. Our two models aren't physically touching, but they are engaged in melee per the rules because they got they I was able to move to base you. I just couldn't physically do it because of the model, because of your cape sticking out. But that doesn't stop me from basing
so
you.
here's in Jared's term, devil's advocate. I'm gonna say that's a slippery slope because the clear question was they're not considered to be in base contact, correct? Which in our game, base contact signifies two things. It signifies you're in base contact and so you're locked in engagement and you're meleeing. The reason I say it's a slippery slope is because if you go off a gentleman's agreement of we're in base contact because I can make it here even though you're mainly stopping me, that's like a later error for a judge to fix when that model just runs away and like I was never in base contact.
Yeah, but I feel like that's where the margin of error comes in, right?
Hmm.
Because then now you're talking about modeling for advantage,
Yep. Yep.
and
I mean,
nobody wants
but
that.
he's not. But the thing is, the way Rowdy is stating it is it's not modeling for advantage because it's just the dynamic pose the model has. Like you could not control how Savage presses on that on that base.
Maybe,
You cannot change that.
maybe
So how
because
is it advantages?
what I'm
It
saying
actually,
is like
yeah, it doesn't look like you can. I'm looking at the picture right now. His leg is
yeah,
sticking way
no,
far
no, I'm
out.
looking at it too, but I mean it's important to note that some and hopefully they did this, but maybe not AMG. Most units come with different build options. Like Grievous, you can have the cape, you can have the cape, you can have the gun, you can have all four lightsabers. Um, Maul is a good example of having three different lightsaber poses, right? And I'm really, really hoping that they don't allow this because, again, margin of error, and now you're modeling for advantage, and it just sucks. So
So
tell me they didn't do this, Jose.
sets small base miniatures may be placed in whichever orientation desired by the player placing or moving them. Notch-based miniatures will follow their unique movement rules, which do not allow them to rotate as freely, but only when prompted by notch-based movement or abilities such as reposition. Um, so basically, you can't be a gentleman and turn your guy's side. And the reason I say it's like a sketchy example is because like that Savage can be in like a tight spot where only his front is facing because you just put your tool there and you put him there. You can purposely move him that way, but you put him there and it's whatever. But now Nick cannot get to you because of that rock going forward. So you being a gentleman, Jared would be like, "Oh, no problem. We both know you made it." So you would just twist him a little bit.
Yeah.
That apparently you cannot twist him.
So
But that's
go
what I'm
ahead.
saying. You don't even need to twist them. And I would say you still could, right? But you don't even need to because I could still move. Say, oh, I'm going to base you. Oh, look, clearly base. I can't physically put my model there because of your giant leg and thing sticking out, but we're based, and I'm just going to put them as close as I can, and
I
we're
mean,
based. That I I
it's
would
so weird
be
because uh,
shocked if
Rob
anyone plays differently
Rob
than that.
Rob put his dewback sideways to help with him touching base because
And
hold on. But my thing is like if that dewback is originally set and you once again corner case, you're in the little crevice where the dewback's base where the dewback fits, but his head is poking out. That head sticks out 2 inches, an inch and a half, 2 inches out. If you're trying to melee that unit, that dude, you cannot put your mini underneath that head. And I don't think that somebody would grant you margin of error for an inch and a half.
Yeah, so keep reading, keep reading.
Okay, so the third portion is if a player places their mini in a way that is protruding part of the small base miniature directionally towards an enemy unit, would the enemy unit have to move around the protruding part to reach base contact? So Savage's
Right.
rock,
So what
okay?
Nick was saying is that you don't need to.
Or would player A be required to change orientation of their small base miniature to accommodate and move up to allow the base contact? Seth says a
They're
player
not.
will not adjust orientation of their miniature if it's not being moved or placed. It will not be rotated to make room for another miniature or enemy otherwise.
What about A?
That's what I am
Because you answered B right now. You don't rotate it.
yeah,
expand. No, B was the spin one.
Yeah, you said no rotating, but A is the one where are
Yeah,
you
can you
it says
still
required?
base
player.
them?
Yeah,
He
can you
said
still
player
base?
A will not adjust orientation of the miniature if it's not being moved or placed. So he was saying small base miniatures may be placed in whichever orientation desired by player, placing or moving them. Notch based miniatures will follow the unique movement rules, which do not allow them to rotate. So if
He
dang
didn't
it,
answer it. He didn't
He
answer
didn't
it.
answer it.
He
No,
didn't
he didn't.
answer
did he
it.
not
He
answer
Yeah,
it?
did. He didn't
no, he didn't
answer
answer
it.
it.
No.
Hold on, I'm
He
gonna go on
Unless
B
unless
real
he
quick.
unless he is
I'm gonna double
alluding.
check to make sure I'm not
Okay, unless
tripping.
unless he's alluding that no, you just can't base it. Then that should like theoretically answer the question, but
yeah.
it doesn't answer the question if they're engaged or not because of margin error, right? And
And also just I mean,
I guess he didn't answer it.
general gaming rules.
yeah,
It's
Tactical
fine.
miniature. If a
I mean,
player bases.
like that's
it is.
pretty
Yeah,
No.
pretty
He says that was the answer. So
the
one.
answer. Okay,
Yeah,
answer
because the third.
A.
So at three. That the third part of the question is if player A places their mini in a way that the protruding part of the small base miniature is directly towards the enemy unit, would the enemy unit have to move around the protruding part to reach player contact, or would player A be required to change the orientation of the small base miniature to accommodate
But
and
it's
move? And
yeah.
then he says if player A, so the response was player A doesn't will not adjust anything because they are not being moved or
Yeah.
right,
placed.
right.
But doesn't
So
say I still couldn't base them.
so
Yeah,
it will not be rotated to make room for another. Yeah, so but the thing is like you're not based though.
Yeah.
again,
I
Like
so
base this game
if
is very sticky.
but see, but it's not though. It's not.
So
It's not.
is there where the
It's
are the
not.
old rules up still for margin error that
No,
say it's
margin of error never specified that.
right.
Margin of error was just a statement for TOs to run a miniature tournament because miniatures is not a video game. It's not a TTS. There's an inaccuracy to any miniatures game. So that's what margin of error is for. So it's not for specific things. It's a catch-all
yeah.
for playing a tabletop miniature game because things like a dewback head sticking off a base is not going to be like called out in the rules about what to do with the dewback's head that sticks off a base. So that's what the so but if you're going to tell me, and I don't even know if he is telling me this because I don't know if his answer is clear, that with this new Savage model coming out, that I'm going to have a hard time basing him because he sticks out really far on that, or Dewback, or whatever else, that now that's a way that you can prevent me from basing you. Like, I don't buy that.
Yeah,
So I'm
and
only questioning it right now because I just typed in Star Wars Legion margin of error, and when the overview comes up, it shows the Fantasy Flight Games logo.
It
And so according to the Fantasy Flight back in the day,
it's still in the Galactic
said
Conquest. It's still in the
yeah,
Galactic
it's still in the
Conquest.
rule
It's still in the
books.
Galactic
is
Conquest.
Yeah,
it? What does it
Yeah,
say?
yeah.
yeah. Units are sometimes moved accidentally or placed inaccurately during the normal course of the game. It's acceptable reasonable margin. Players may not abuse this margin of error. However, they must use the components included in the game to help them be accurate as possible. Feels their opponents abuse the margin of error, they make need to practically difficult movement. They should call a counselor for assistance before moving any miniatures. That's what margin of error says.
Well, because the FFG version, or yeah, it says
Yeah.
in contact with movement, when a miniature is meant to move in base-to-base contact with another, but cannot due to slight imprecision, it moves as close as possible and is assumed to have made contact. That's FFG.
Hmm.
Well, I really hope that you can, and I hope somebody corrects us in the comment if Seth did answer it, because I think, and I agree with Nick here, I don't think he really
Because
answered the question about
he was
gauge.
asking if he was considered engaged or had to move past to touch, right?
Right.
I
That's
don't,
what.
it wasn't
That's
answered.
what. I'm gonna.
That's what before.
I didn't. I'm gonna. I know you sent us the picture of the question. I'm gonna look over it again because I haven't fully
I
read it
know that I'll do
thoroughly.
it. Hold
But
on. I will do
I'm
this.
with Nick here. I'm with Nick. I feel like you got to do the margin error and you just consider yourself base because, like, it's a scary thing to think about. Where if there's a model that's designed to shoot and it you can model it to where you can't touch it at all on any of its points, that's a model that could
I
just run
sent the link in the
rampant.
chat.
That's a model that can run rampant without being engaged at all. You know what I mean? If that's the case.
Yeah, and this Savage model coming out is probably the first time I've seen something this
Well,
big off of the base too,
The
right?
dewback.
Well, for
well,
for
Grievous,
small base trooper.
Grievous
I
again.
gosh, I think the Savage. I mean, it's hard to tell from the picture, but it seems like he sticks up farther out even than
That's
the Grievous. I
that's
mean, just he's
tougher.
just on the one side,
Yeah.
but he's poking out pretty big out there.
If any judges, anybody out there that, once again, I think it's amazing people listen to us. If anybody can help clear this up, just because we now have more, the rules questions is made to help us understand the game more. I feel like this left us more
Which is good.
perplexed.
It's good, right? It's teaching us something, right? Um
Jared's like, when you model my next mini, just all their arms
yeah,
forward.
just give them all the options, bro. All the options. My new custom commander can have all of them,
All the
man.
arms, the
It's gonna
capes, and
be a
everything.
new alien with a bunch of heads on it. You've never seen the stars before. Um, all right, guys. Well, I think I kept you here long enough. But yeah, but viewers, if you know the answer, please let us know. And hopefully we can address this next episode. Um, any last words, Jose?
One, do not buy that terrain pack.
Oh my
Two,
God.
please,
You only
please,
get one
please,
word, one last word. You don't get
please,
two.
Gungans, Gungans, Gungans.
Reset the clock. Nick, you got any last words?
Just I should shout out Dashes for winning Nova.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Which
nice. We'll have to
next
talk
week
about
we'll have to
that.
go over the tournament stuff on that. So, yes, people, allow your stuff to be based, be fair, and see you guys later.